and welcome to the Autocar show. Now, as you saw, Goa is, well, simply amazing. Sun, sand, sea, and just the good life. But I'm here in Goa to be amazed at a different level for the launch of Honda's new car for the Indian market, the Amaze. Now, they're launching this in a petrol version and for the very first time, a diesel. Well, that's what all eyes are going to be on because it's a first step for Honda into the diesel segment. They haven't had one so far and everybody's looking forward to this. Well, I'm going to take it for a spin and find out what it's all about. But before we get behind the wheel, let's take a good look at the Amaze. Built off the Brio platform, the Amaze doesn't look sub 4 meter. The boot doesn't look stubby or chopped like in the Swift Desire. In fact, it's very well integrated with the lines of the car flowing from the nose over and into the C-pillar, going way back over the wheel arch. The side profile with the strong character lines that sweep across the car from both ends with just a hint of overlap make it look quite distinctive. And the proportions look well balanced. The front is instantly recognizable as Brio with the familiar teardrop headlamps. The only real difference is the grille, which has twin slats now leaning upward at the corners to give it the impression of width. The rear with the chrome strip running across the boot and the combination tail lamps end the car neatly. The wheelbase is up 60 mm over the Brio to give the backseat passengers more space. And the 400-litre boot can pack 2 large and 2 small bags easily. Open the door and the dash will make you think you walked into the Brio. It is identical except for the amber glow on the instrument dial. And the metal in the side pockets of the Brio doors now gets cladding. The big difference is dual-tone beige upholstery, space of course, the driver's seat with a substantial 50 mm height adjust, and a special heat-absorb windshield that can lower the cabin temperature by about 6 degrees. On the spec list, the audio system without the CD player, the manual aircon control and the 3-spoke steering wheel remain the same. This top-end Amaze VX also gets electric folding mirrors, alloy wheels and a basic trip computer. There are 7 bottle holders spread across the cabin as well. The Brio dash, though fine on quality, stands up looking a little low-spec in the Amaze. Now, of course, when we wanted to get behind the wheel, it was of the spanking new diesel first. This 1.5-litre DTEC has been engineered keeping Indian conditions in mind. It is all aluminium, making it very light, and a newly developed ultra-low viscosity oil helps it be efficient. Now, when you get into a Honda, you expect creamy, smooth refinement. But this engine is not exactly like that. Once you get on the go, and especially when you rev hard, you do hear it. But it is a bit gruff. And you do feel some vibration through the floorboard and the pedals. The all-aluminium engine is the culprit, not having the sound-absorbing properties of thicker metals. However, in all other aspects, this engine is a dream. It's a nice, punchy engine. Keep the motor spinning above 2000 RPM, put your foot down and there's always power. Below that, there is a bit of lag, but like I said, it's just a bit. It's minimal. Even in the city, this one will do just fine. You won't need too many gear changes. And because of the strong mid-range, out on the highway, it feels good as well. Which means it cruises pretty well too. Now, we weren't too surprised to find that the peppy diesel gets to 100 quicker than the competition. And with power from as low as 1200 RPM, whenever you lift off and put your foot down, you get served up a good dose of punch. Gearing for most part keeps it in the wide power band, making it easy to drive in all conditions. The first gear is a little short, but it's been done keeping in mind efficiency and of course the average Indian driver who shifts into second the moment he starts off. The gear shift itself is positive with a nice short throw. Now, despite all the punch and power, Honda claimed that this one has class-leading economy figures. Now, with the car being light, the engine weight being kept down and friction, the worst enemy of any engine, being kept low too, fuel efficiency was bound to be good. And the company claims figures of 25.8 on the diesel and 15.5 on the petrol auto. We also drove this 5-speed petrol auto. So this is the same engine as there is in the Brio. It's a nice, smooth, typically Honda engine, refined. The only time you hear it is when you rev it hard. It really doesn't feel like a 1.2-litre engine in this car. It feels very capable, and even the auto box works really well. And in the city, traffic, it's got a good bottom end. It's got a very good top end as well. It's only in the mid-range that it loses a little steam. So if you want to make that sudden overtake, or you need to suddenly put your foot flat down and get into a bit of open space, you're stuck in the wrong gear, it will take a little time and then move on. For most times it feels really good. It's only on an uphill climb like this when you want to go flat out, and then it feels a little underpowered. But once you get into the right gear and get moving, it goes on pretty well. The petrol auto was not exactly quick in the 0 to 100. But the engines definitely get a thumbs up. One can only enjoy performance if the car handles well. And the Amaze surprised me on that front too. What I like about this car is the steering. Points the car exactly where you want it to go, and it feels well weighted too. Gives you a real sense of confidence. The rear suspension is a little soft, but with the taut body, the Amaze still feels good around the corners, and you can really push it on a twisty road and enjoy the drive. The softer rear suspension, however, is an advantage in the city, where it helps the Amaze tackle bad sections of road pretty well. The Amaze's compact exterior dimensions belie the space inside. Now, Honda claimed that the space in the Amaze is really class-leading, and it definitely feels like that. I've got loads of legroom, even with Shapur in his driving position. And 3 abreast should be pretty easy because it's got quite a flat floorboard. The seats themselves, nicely cushioned, comfortable, and this back seat is a pretty good place to be. The beige interior and glass areas do a lot to make the Amaze feel open and airy on the inside, and the back seat is a comfortable place to be. Now, based on the successful Brio hatchback, the new Amaze is almost specifically targeted at India. Its sub 4 meter length and options of a less than 1200cc petrol motor and a less than 1500cc diesel go towards ensuring that Honda can avail of the excise SOPs for small cars and make it affordable for the value-conscious Indian buyer. Well, after the day's drive, I have to say pretty amazing. Now, it's Honda's first ever foray into the compact sedan segment, and of course their first ever diesel in the Indian market. But it's a diesel that's going to make the competition sit up and take notice. Now, despite all the praise I'm heaping on the Amaze, it's not that it doesn't have flaws. The diesel engine is a bit noisy, and of course the interiors that are straight out of the Brio may fall short of people's expectations who want that little bit more in this segment. But apart from that, it's difficult to find flaws with the Amaze. It's spacious, it's comfortable, both engines perform well, it's got a good boot, it handles nicely, and of course even the exterior styling, which if you look at the competition, the boot looks patched on. Here, it's integrated really well. The car actually looks really nice. Now, Honda have got a lot riding on the Amaze, so you can expect this to be well priced too. And we feel they definitely have a winner on their hands.